Hello, my name is Charbonneau. I'm from Hanover, Ontario. This is my fight journal on my first pro fight coming up on November 30th in Montreal, Quebec. I first started getting into MMA, I'd say about 8 years ago. I was sitting on the couch watching the first season of The Ultimate Fighter. I've always had a passion and always wanted to be in MMA. I've always had a passion to fight and just love the sport in general. But I think I made the clear, conscious decision to do it when I was sitting on my couch watching Forrest Griffin, Stephen Bonner duke it out, and I just thought in my head, I want to do that one day, and I'm going to do it one day. So for this upcoming fight, I'm training like an animal. I've really stepped up my training. It's like I said, it's not a basic amateur fight. In amateurs, you do a lot of 2-minute rounds, 3 2-minute rounds, and as you know, as a pro MMA fight, it's based on 3 5-minute rounds. So the pace and the cardio has got to go up a lot. So I've really had to up my training. I've been starting to take spin classes at the New Height Fitness Center in Hanover, 6 in the morning, Tuesdays and Thursdays. I've got a personal trainer up there, France Harding, who's my strength conditioning coach, who's pushing me to the limits at everything I do. She has taken my body and made me a new man. In the last few weeks, we're just going to tone it down, make sure the endurance is there. We've really been testing my ground game, really working my jiu-jitsu. My strength is boxing, kickboxing. I'm a stand-up fighter. I love to stand there and bang. I love to put guys to sleep with my hands. But I've really been drilling my ground game. I'm fighting a ground guy who likes to go to the ground. Robin Black's my opponent. Apparently he's a good jiu-jitsu guy. I think his only shot at beating me is taking me to the ground. And then I've got a great jiu-jitsu coach down in Kincard, Mike Weichert with Dog Jiu-Jitsu, who is tightening up my ground game. And as far as it comes to stand-up, I can stand and bang with the best of them. I've been doing this. That's what I do. This is my bread and butter. And my opponent, I don't think offers any threat to my stand-up game whatsoever. So I'm not too worried about it. I'm concentrating. What I need to focus on is basically my conditioning and my ground game for this fight. And it's looking really good. I've been training in mixed martial arts, I'd say probably for 6 years, ever since I made that decision to get into mixed martial arts. I've been training boxing, a style of boxing, probably most of my life. I've always had a passion for boxing. I started boxing when I was 18, and I did that for a few years, and then, life took over a bit, so I had a few years where I didn't do nothing, and then, like I said, I've seen the pursuing for MMA and wanted to do it, and now I'm doing it. So about 6 years I've been training straight now, I'd say, for this combat sports. So this fight coming up, it's on November 30th, 2012. It's in Charbonneau, Quebec, which is probably just outside Montreal, around there. I'm signed up with the TriStar Fight Night. TriStar is a gym that's training Georges St. Pierre. They're hosting their first pro fight night called SLAMM 1. It's through the Innerbox promotion, so I'm very excited to be associated with these guys. These guys are probably the best names in Canada when it comes to MMA, so I'm very happy to be associated with them. My opponent's name is Robin Black. He's had 8 fights. His record is 3-5. Versus my 0 pro fights, but my amateur background, really, I've got a lot of amateur experience, which balances out his pro fight record. From what I hear, he's more, and what I've seen, he's more of a ground guy. He's going to look to take me down and either try to catch me in submission or pound me out. And me, I'm a stand-up guy. I like to catch someone with my hands, put him to sleep, win that. But I've really drilled my jiu-jitsu and again, really confident in my ground game. As an amateur in MMA, I've sort of had a rocky go. I'm 0-6 as an amateur in MMA, and a lot of people are thinking, well, why would you even want to go professional when you can't win an amateur fight? It's the fact of who I fought as an amateur. I didn't walk in there and fight nobodies. My first fight was against Ayman Zahabi, Faraz Zahabi's brother. It was a great fight, one of the top amateurs we got coming out of this country. I went 3 rounds with him. Great fight, got choked out at the end. I felt very confident. Then I stopped in there with another guy, Matthew Papineau, and I fought all these other guys, and these have all been top amateurs coming out. These guys are all going pro now, and I've got very high prospects. So I didn't step in there against nobodies. I've taken on top guys, which definitely makes me feel ready for this test as a pro. In the past, what I feel confidence in, what makes me a stand-up fighter, is I've won 2 Golden Glove championships in the province of Ontario. I'm a silver medalist at the Canadian National Kickboxing Championships in 2010. I made the national Canadian team for 2010 to compete. I've won a gold medal at the recently Greater Toronto Area Jiu-Jitsu tournament. So I'm riding high. I've been in there. I've won the championship. I've won some big fights. I've got some good fights under my belt. So I feel good, and that's why my base is a stand-up. I was a Golden Glove champion and kickboxing champion. I feel that's why I am a talented stand-up fighter. Overall, though, I know I've competed over 100 matches, guaranteed. I know I've had about 40 to 50 boxing matches. About 10 grappling contests. I've done about 10 MMA contests, and anywhere from, I'm not sure, about 8 to 12 kickboxing. I lost track of that one. And they're all amateur fights, and this is my first professional fight coming up, so I've got quite an extensive background. I'm ready for this.